I do agree that men should be honest and upfront. That I want to have. I'm not going to be monogamous to you. That's how we approach it. But most men are not going to do that. Like, it's just not going to happen.
Because girls can't handle the truth.
They can't. Yeah.
But I do agree with what you said about, you know, it gets thrown around a lot, the term high value man. But I think if you're a high value woman, if you you know, let's face it, a man is there to protect and provide. If you don't need the provide, if you can provide for yourself, and I'm not talking about like a Gucci bag, a Chanel bag, I'm talking about like provide me safety, provide me something biologically I need.
Yeah.
If you can't do those two things, then you're worthless to me. And so I'm not going to put up with you like fucking around because.
So I'll give you my controversial take what I'm about to say right now, and especially as an educated woman like yourself, you might not like what I'm going to say.
Misogyny.
I genuinely don't think there's a such thing as a high value woman because all women have value. So therefore, it'd be kind of ridiculous to say that there's high value women out there. And what I mean by that is a woman can only claim she's high value if she has a high value man that co-signs her. She can only become high value by taking a high value man's last name, because becoming high value is very difficult to attain. And I argue that all women have value, not like men. There's a lot of low value men, so some like mid-level men, and then there's some high value men. But all women to some degree have value, because a woman that's average can absolutely bat 5 levels above her and get a high value man, but it can't work the other way around. So since those sexual dynamics are so polarized, I don't think there's such thing as a high value woman unless there's a high value man co-signing her.
I disagree.
Okay, sure.
Because some people think that Andrew Tate is a high value man, but I wouldn't consider him to be a high value man. So if he was to co-sign me as a high value woman, it would mean nothing to me because I don't see him in that light.
Okay.
Hurrah!
Fair assessment, but this is where I disagree with you. Being high value doesn't necessarily deal with morality. Does he have status? Does he have respect from peers? Does he have respect? I mean, in his case, he has respect worldwide. He has financial success, right? We could take it a step further. Trained martial artist, 4-time kickboxing world champion.
Yep.
On paper, he's absolutely high value.
Yep.
Now, and any woman that gets with him is going to acquire the Tate last name and be high value as a byproduct of it. So though he might not be your cup of tea, it's pretty irrefutable that he is a high value man.
But if you
because he's high value in the metrics that make a man have value in the world. So a man's value is 1,000% determined by the impact that they create in the world.
Yeah.
Right. A man's last name only carries value if he's able to change other people's lives to some degree. That's why people that are lawyers, doctors, celebrities to a degree, etc., they have value and status from their accomplishments, and that is where their value comes from. People respect them, etc. So men, we acquire value much differently than women do. We acquire it through status. You guys acquire it through beauty. And then being able to get a man that has status. Now, some women are able to go ahead and get status on their own, right? You have 3 PhDs, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Oh, PhD.
Educated, etc. But unfortunately, that's the equivalent to a man being extremely metrosexual, extremely good looking, but broke. Because even though he's attractive and he's beautiful, that is not a commodity that women seek. Just like a woman that has education, status, and income, that is not a commodity that men generally seek.
You're right, because in Miami, I just moved to Miami. I mean, literally, I go to you can go to any store in the mall, Forever 21, H&M, Zara. The women working at the cash register literally are like the most beautiful women you've ever seen in your life. I'm like, are you like a Victoria's Secret, like Brazilian supermodel? And she's high value. She's not educated.
She's not high value unless she gets a high value man.
Well, she will though, looking like that.
Yeah, if she can. If she can land him and get his last name, because they could get fucked. But can she get his last name?
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I'm really happy that I have you guys on the panel because you guys are higher IQ. Let me tell you from experience of being here, most women are absolutely retarded in Miami. I can't have discussions like this with them. You're very educated, well-spoken, etc., able to articulate your points. You, from a cognitive level, are better than most women. However, a lot of these women that you're way smarter than will beat you to get one of these guys because they might be more attractive or younger. Because men typically don't care about a woman's education or status. Even though you work really hard to acquire these things, these are male metrics of success, unfortunately. Which is why I tell successful women all the time is like, that's great. It's awesome. You can have a great conversation with a guy. He might be intrigued, but are you going to beat out the 21-year-old model? It's going to be tough.
So then how does that add value to the 21-year-old model? Because you said the other guy has to like co-sign for her. So if that's who he chooses, but yet she doesn't have like no IQ or no education, then how does that make her a high value woman?
Well, he can make her into his woman and make her the best girlfriend for him. That's why leadership is so important for men.
Look at it this way, like Donald Trump. Everyone been know who Donald Trump is, but
who did we know Mrs. Trump until this man was president? Like, let's be real. You know what I'm saying? But kind of like, it's.
Hold on, I'll take it a step further, real quick, just because you just mentioned a good point. Monica Lewinsky became famous off of sucking a high value man's dick.
Hey,
Think about that for a second.
Yeah.
Think about that for a second. That happened almost 30 years ago. We still know her name to this day.
So
Intern, 18 years old. She got her status simply from sucking a high value man's dick. If that does not prove that women acquire status through men, I don't know what else does.
To your point, Kim Kardashian, Ray J.
Yeah.
I hit it first.
pretty
Famous.
much.
And real quick, you considered Andrew not high value. So who would you consider high value?
I like Drake.
Drake. I'm done. Are you serious?
No,
Wait,
no.
I like Drake. But come on, bro.
Wait. So why do you like Drake though?
Drake.
His songs or like tell me?
No, I feel like I relate to his music. So the things that he says,
So his
even if he
songs.
doesn't write it, you know, but I feel like I relate.
So
And he's a Scorpio. I'm a Scorpio.
It sounds like
Drake.
it's just like
you a Scorpio.
you fucks with him because, or you fuck with him being high value because you like him. That's a very opinionated statement. Like back to the Andrew Tate thing, like this is not shame. Keep in mind, I get like anyone can go anywhere and say, "Oh yeah, Andrew Tate." Da 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 da. It may be shit. It may be really good, but like if I were to go to the streets of Orlando and say your name, they'd be like, "Who the fuck is that?" So that's kind of what he's saying. Like high value. In other words, it doesn't mean people have to like him. It doesn't mean people have to hate him. Like that's what he's known for. Whatever he's known for is putting his fucking name out and getting him paid.
Extreme example, and I really hate to say this. It actually pains me to say this. Jeffrey Epstein on paper is a high value man. Even though he's a deplorable individual, he is a high value man on paper. Because when we're talking about high value, we're not talking about morality. And that's arguable, whatever. But when you look at status, income, what he's done, even though he got his status through some bullshit and money, you can argue on paper that he is so like, not to liken Drake or Tate to him, but I'm just showing that as an extreme example of like high value really doesn't have to do with morality. Because you're going from an opinion standpoint. I don't like Andrew Tate, or I don't consider him a high value man because I might not like his views. But Drake and Tate are both high value. And I would argue Tate has more of a positive impact on the world than Drake does. I mean, Drake hasn't really saved guys from,
No, but
offing themselves.
If you
or anything
notice,
like that.
it's
Like,
how he makes her feel.
Yeah.
So that's what's driving her high value status.
Yeah, but objectively speaking,
I mean,
that's why I asked
both
that question.
Drake and Andrew Tate are high value men, but I would argue that Tate has more impact from a positive standpoint than Drake does. Drake is a musician, cool. Yeah, okay, yeah, you got me. I'm in my feelings. But Andrew Tate's keeping guys from killing themselves.
I like them both, but